what is the significance of the civil service? और ये मत भूलिए, we are discussing about both UPSC as well as the MPSC. So what is the significance? अलग अलग तरह से हम लिख सकते हैं. Okay, उसको भी हम 2B कहेंगे. So the A is, अब सिंपल भाषा में हम लिखते हैं, it is government on ground. Administration, bureaucracy, civil service is what? Government on ground. क्योंकि ग्राउंड पे एमपी नहीं, कभी तो आएंगे एमपी, कभी तो आपका मिनिस्टर आ सकता है, बट ग्राउंड पे जो काम करते हैं ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट एंड ऑल्सो एज पार्ट ऑफ द गवर्नमेंटल मशीनरी, इट इज द एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, इट इज द ब्यूरोक्रेसी. सो देयरफॉर civil service as part of administration and bureaucracy is understood always, is always seen as government on ground. वही पॉइंट, वही मुद्दा हम अलग तरीके से भी लिख सकते हैं, इट इज द फेस ऑफ गवर्नमेंट. और यूजुअली आप पेपर पढ़ते वक्त आपको यह पता चलता है कि whenever administration gets into any kind of brutality, coercive measures, okay, police, for example, doing lathi charge and so on and so forth, then not only the administration criticized, but along with criticizing the administration and the police machinery, the elements from civil society, media, the opposition also make it a point to criticize the government, because ultimately the government regulates and controls the public administration. The ultimate charge of the administration is with the ministry. And the highest political office in our parliamentary democracy is that of the prime minister, then the cabinet minister, then the union minister, then the state minister, so on and so forth. Okay. So whatever administration does on ground, it is always seen as something which is done by the government itself. So therefore, we have to keep in mind that ultimately civil services operates as a face of government. It is recognized as face of government. इसीलिए वो अगर अच्छा काम करेगा तो गवर्नमेंट की तरफ अच्छी तरीके से देखा जाएगा, वो बुरा काम करेगा, वो ब्रुटैलिटी करेगा, कोर्सिव मेजर लेगा, आपका एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, आपका ब्यूरोक्रेसी, आपका सिविल सर्विस, तो गवर्नमेंट को क्रिटिसाइज किया जाएगा. सो फेस ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. तीसरा जो है, विच इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, इट होल्ड्स, ओके, it holds a lot of potential. It holds a lot of potential. I'm using this word. It holds a lot of potential to contribute positively. थोड़ा सा reframe करते हैं उसको. Positive intervention in society. And therefore, I'll get back to the first point and the title of today's webinar, why civil services is one of the best options. And right at the beginning, I did point out two concerns of all of us whenever we think of any career option. One is the personal growth, individual growth, and other is the ability thereby to even contribute to the well-being and the development of the society, of the collectivity of our nation. तो ये देखिए, civil services as a government service undoubtedly holds the potential of making a mark through something called as the positive intervention in society. Okay, क्योंकि उसको क्या दिया गया है? डेवलपमेंटल रोल दिया गया है. नाउ कई पेरेंट्स को, कई स्टूडेंट्स को यह सवाल होता है कि डज ब्यूरोक्रेसी, डज एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, डज सिविल सर्विस रियली डू दैट? डज इट होल्ड, does it possess the potential of making a mark and ensuring a positive intervention? Absolutely yes. Okay, हाँ, ये होता है कि there is lot of corruption in bureaucracy, there is lot of corruption in civil service, so on and so forth. There is lot of interference, political interference in the civil service, so on and so forth. These are all part and parcel of our political life, our collective public life. Nobody can deny that. But still, there are few civil servants, there are few bureaucrats, there are few public functionaries, okay, who are doing wonderful job. Not by uttering a word. They are very silent. They are operating as if behind the curtain, and they are contributing silently by using the authority which is given to them by the Constitution and making a very positive intervention in the society. I think this is therefore one of the best career options, holds the potential. Always usko dhyan mein rakhiye, it holds the potential. I am not claiming that civil service is actually doing that. But the point is, civil service absolutely can do that. It holds the potential. And we can name so many bureaucrats, but no need to look into that. ये वाला है. और चौथा जो है, which is equally important, this is a larger point, and here we are talking about the society at large. But here I'm going to focus on something very specific of the society. Okay. Positive change in the lives of weaker sections. मैं खाली एक ही शब्द इस्तेमाल कर रहा हूं, weaker sections. You can use so many other words: weaker sections, vulnerable sections, downtrodden, the neglected sections. If we think about our society, we have scheduled caste, we have scheduled tribe, we have women, we have children, we have age-old people. Okay, so there are number of needy sections who are in the requirement of some resource, who are in requirement of good education, who are in requirement of good health facilities, so on and so forth. But somehow they do not have the essential resources to do the same thing. So therefore, those are the needy sections. They are capable, they are willing to do work, but somehow they are not getting work, no means of livelihood, and therefore they do not have resources at their disposal so that they can avail these basic facilities. उसको हम needy sections बोलते हैं. तो उस needy sections को आप डेफिनेटली उनके लाइफ में पॉजिटिव चेंज ला सकते हो, बिकॉज ब्यूरोक्रेसी, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, एंड एज पार्ट ऑफ दैट सिविल सर्विसेज enjoys lot of power and authority. And believe me, you can look around you, you can take a number of examples, look into those examples very critically, and you would realize, you would come to know that yes, at least there are few bureaucrats, few civil servants who are using their authority in order to do the same thing. So you can make a positive change, not only in society in general, but particularly which section of society that we always think about and must think about, that is the weaker section of the society. So students, this is how I'll sum up this discussion by writing something in a box. Sorry. तो वो क्या होगा? Let us make it very simple. पहला, the success or failure of government dash 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 dash. The success or failure of a government to substantial extent, to great extent, depends upon the quality of the civil services and the actual role which is performed by the civil services. Always keep in mind that. And therefore, I would appeal all of you, those who are interested, those who are passionate. Okay, I'm not saying that all of us must join the civil services, but those who are seriously thinking about this option, they must realize that the failure or success of a government to great extent, to substantial extent, depends upon how good the civil service is, to what extent it can exercise its power and make a positive mark in society in general and the weaker sections particularly. So success and failure of government to great extent depends upon. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूं कि only depends upon civil service, not at all, to great extent. So civil services and the performance of civil services happens to be one of the determining factors here as far as the success and failure is concerned. दूसरा, the second thing which is equally important, थोड़ा सा broad करके हम बोल सकते हैं, the success, failure, उसको ही मैं थोड़ा broad करके, of our democracy also depends upon the working of, and as one of the factors, I'm saying, as one of the factors, we need to have a good parliament, we need to have a good government, we need to have a good judiciary, no doubt about that. We need to have good civil service. We need to have an independent, impartial media, which is courageous enough to take on to the sitting government. Okay, it is not afraid of the sitting government. पावर को डरते हैं हम, जो पार्टी पावर में होती है तो हमेशा तो मीडिया डरता है, That shouldn't be the case with media. Media always has to be autonomous and independent. उसकी भी जरूरत हमें लगती है. So there are n number of factors which determines the success or failure of the democracy. One thing which is important here is one factor which can play a significant role in success or failure of democracy, but let us say success of democracy, is the working of the functioning of the civil services. This is how we can take note of the significance of the civil services. Okay.